What's up, everybody? This is Gary with Coastal Strength and Fitness, coming at you with another episode of Fit for Life Radio with my partner in crime.
What's up?
That would be Will.
Hi.
And we want to hit you guys with today so we're going to maybe do a little stretch here of podcasts where we talk about things that in the fitness world and like when you talk amongst other coaches and trainers, there's lots of stuff that's like known to kind of be like a myth or, you know, kind of a myth that's busted years ago. So you kind of assume everyone knows it. But there's actually a few, and we still get a lot of questions about them. So the one we're going to talk about today is spot reducing, right? The fact that you cannot spot reduce body fat. And what I mean by that is, say, you know, you have some fat. A common one is women will talk about like the back of their arms, the tricep area.
The bat wings?
Yeah, the AKA bat wing, and they'll be like, I want to lose fat here. So then they want to do a bunch of exercises where they feel that area working, like, you know, AKA the burn, thinking that then that's going to burn fat from that area. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that.
That's weird.
Yeah, so it'd be nice. That's also where, too, people get a little, which is a whole nother topic, but, you know, they just want to do 1,000,000 reps, you know, super lightweight and like, you know, just a ton of reps to feel the burn, but that's not have anything to do with burning fat either. That's just, you know, when you do a high repetition of something, you get a lot of blood to that area and you feel it a little more, but that's just a whole separate thing that's going on. So you cannot spot reduce body fat. Right? So then you think, well, where are we going to go with this? We just gave you the answer, but we want to explain it a little so that you can conceptualize it and understand it. So for most people, what they want to do is lose body fat, right? And we all have areas where we have more fat and we want to lose it from that area, right? So imagine if you were, you know, 5% body fat, so basically no visual body fat. And you just said, you know, forget this, I'm going to just start eating tubs of ice cream and just gaining weight as fast as possible and as much as possible. Well, you would start to gain weight in a specific order, right? And in general, it's going to be, the first place you're going to store it is your stomach, midsection area, and then eventually from there, you know, then your lower back and upper torso and arms and things like that, legs, and then eventually your face, right?
Your head.
Yep, your head, your noggin. So then obviously, when you go to lose body fat, as you lose fat, you're typically going to lose it in that reverse order, right? So therefore, the midsection is going to be the last place it goes. But everyone still kind of has little specific areas that can vary from person to person. But in general, it's understanding that ultimately, so to lose fat from any area, you just have to worry about the process of how to lose fat, aka your body weight, just overall in general, and then it will go from those areas. So, you know, a lot of times people will see, you know, exercise on YouTube or Instagram and somehow get conned into thinking that specific exercise is going to burn from that area, so someone will want to do it. But really what's going on is, at the end of the day, we all, I think, even if people know that's not how it works, we're holding out hope that maybe that's how it works so we can avoid what we really have to do, the real challenge, which is eating less, right? Well, you know, eating less is going to cramp my lifestyle. Maybe just if I just do this one exercise at the gym, that will burn the fat from the area. Problem solved.
Yeah. Nope. Doesn't work that way. And I got blame like every YouTuber, and think about before that magazines from, I don't know, however long ago, that, you know, 10 exercises to burn belly fat. Well, that's just not really a thing. So as much as you'll continue to see it, and you just, like Gary said, like you want that to be the answer, just like, you know, you want a certain superfood to be the answer for your diet, it's just usually not the case, and it's usually a lot more, boring and simple than that. For your diet, it's eat less food. It's not just that kale is the magic food that makes you lose weight. And for exercise or losing body fat, it's just that you need to lose everywhere and not just try to target one area with some weird exercise that probably doesn't work.
Yeah, and then from there you probably ask, well, why even exercise, right? So this is where resistance training and strength training do come into the fold, and why you need to do them. So, there's also the old wives' tale that you hear, muscle or fat, let's turn fat into muscle and vice versa. It doesn't work like that either. Here's what's going on under your skin. You have muscle tissue and you have fat tissue. All right? You can lose muscle and you can gain muscle. So get smaller, get a little bigger. You can lose fat and you can gain fat, and the fat's covering the muscle tissue, right? So what you have to do is you want to lose the fat covering the muscle, and you want to make sure you do not lose muscle. All right, and that's really important because you don't want to lose muscle, because that's what kind of sets our metabolism to a big degree, right? So your muscle mass, your body has to burn calories throughout the day, even at rest, just to kind of maintain things. So as we age naturally, if we lose muscle, that's what kind of lowers our metabolism over time. That's why people say, when you get older, it's so much harder. But that's just because you've been losing muscle over the years and decades. So if you do something to not lose muscle, then you help yourself out a lot, right? And that's where crash diets are so bad, and most people end up gaining weight because they kind of won't lift weights or do anything. They might just go do a bunch of cardio to burn calories, don't eat any calories. Yeah, they lose a bunch of weight, but a lot of that weight that they lose, along with the fat, is also muscle. And so then when you kind of stop crashing and start eating again, you gain back the weight, the body fat, and more, because your metabolism's lower, right? So then you enter in strength training, resistance training, and really, at our gym, Coastal Strength and Fitness, and for the 13 years, I'm not working with bodybuilders, right? We're not trying to perpetually build muscle and have the most amount of muscle as humanly possible. Really, the goal is to not lose muscle, right? Now, the great thing is you will gain a little muscle, but it's not like you're going to gain 10, 15, 20 pounds of muscle, So the real goal is to, gain some strength and maybe gain a little muscle, but then ultimately over time, and as we age, the real goal should be not to lose muscle, right? So then when you're not losing muscle, then you're creating that calorie deficit through smart nutrition. Again, doing some strength training to not lose muscle. That's how you lose body fat the right way.
Yep. And I think it's good to emphasize too, because we hear it all the time and kind of see it all the time, but you're not strength training. The act of exercising in that moment is not just to burn fat, all over or in a certain spot. It just doesn't work that way, and that's not the purpose. Like Gary outlined, all we want to do is maintain what we have and keep it, and then that way our metabolism doesn't crash. So just look at it as, instead of thinking, I'm going to go into this workout and I'm going to give it my all, I'm going to burn as many calories as possible so I lose fat. That's just not the goal of strength training. Do you burn calories when you do it? Absolutely. You burn calories when you do anything. But if you look at it from that point of view, then you're kind of missing the whole mark on what the benefit is and what the goal should be. Because if your goal is, max calories burned, then your heart rate's going to get up high. You're probably not going to be able to, lift as heavy or get as much out of the strength training in terms of, what your muscles are getting, the damage and recovery there. But if you think about it as, I just want to, move some weights, rest appropriately. If my heart rate gets up a little bit, great, because it always will, but not taking that, more, I got to be dead every workout approach because you think you're burning more fat, then you'll actually probably get more out of it. So just taking a step back and, having that intention for your strength training rather than just thinking about that calorie burn. So I think it's kind of a good mindset shift to have. And then, letting your nutrition take over the role of, this is how I'm going to lose weight. And it's kind of, two separate causes that go together to benefit you both.
Yeah, and then then outside of maintaining muscle, the other benefit of strength training, resistance training is getting stronger, right? And also not just your muscles, but your joints and your ligaments. So even the exercise like a bicep curl, right? There's ligaments and everything that you're working as well, which then is going to strengthen you for the real world, so that when you go to carry a box or pick something up, you're prepared for it, right? You're strong for real life. So for us, that's why that's the base of what we do and what we believe works, because they tie into the two things long term that people care about the most, which is being a healthy body weight and looking good so they feel good and feel confident, and then being strong for life, right? So strength training does both those things, right? So if you just do it consistently, then you're covering your bases, right? And then like Will said, then from there it's digging in with your nutrition to get in that calorie deficit that's needed to burn the body fat and then lose fat from those trouble spots or areas that we don't like, right? So but when you start focusing on I want to do one thing to kind of avoid having to do the real hard work, which is the nutrition, that's just wishful thinking, right? And it ultimately just doesn't work. So then we kind of set ourselves up for mental frustration, and it just kind of, again, makes us dive in on the short-term thought process, which is really what everyone needs to get away from.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
right? You want to think about establishing habits for the long term. So not to ruin anyone's hopes and dash dreams, but yes, just, especially those like 10 crunches for a 6-pack type deal. It just, unfortunately, that's just to sell magazines.
Work.
Yep.
Yeah. But, and it comes down, it's just one of those things, like you're majoring in the minutia, and completely missing the major things. Instead of doing all of these different exercises and really weird tricks and all these weird potions and concoctions, just strength train and eat a little bit less, And that's really simplifying it, because it's not always the easiest thing in the world to eat less. But those are your two main points that really matter, and that's it. Instead of worrying about spot reducing your bat wings, or I want to lose my belly fat, or whatever it may be, just, do the big picture stuff that's going to take you 95% of the way and see where that gets you before you start worrying about every tiny little thing that really is kind of out of your control individually. You can't control when you lose the weight on the backside of your arm. It happens when it happens. When you hit a certain body weight, it might get to a point where you feel happy. But trying to do little things is just not going to benefit you. And it's probably going to stress you out more, constantly worrying about when is this going to be gone, when, you should really just kind of trust that process of doing those macro things rather than the micro things.
Yeah. And, and it's just being aware, right? When you start, catching yourself diving into that mindset and that approach, it's just checking in with yourself and asking, like, hey, is this too good to be true? Hey, am I avoiding doing the real work, right? And this is, you can look at this with not just exercise and fitness, but with anything, right? And I'm guilty of it. Maybe if I go to approach something different, it's easy to fall into, maybe a quick fix that you saw for something, like if I recently just got a new house, so maybe I'm like, oh, I want a really nice lawn, right? So it's easy to then get bamboozled by all the marketing about just use this special lawn seed and this special technique and this quick thing. But really, then when you talk to someone who, say, is a landscaper, they'll, I'll tell you, hey, it takes time, right? You gotta, it's a whole process. It might take a whole year, 2 years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
And the basics are, you gotta, it takes time to grow new grass and grow out the weeds so that they don't have room to grow, and you have to water it, or it has to get plenty of water, and
it all has to be done consistently.
Exactly.
For a long period of time.
And it takes time. So then it's easy to see, how easy it is to jump to the too good to be trues and the quick fix, and most stuff just ultimately doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Imagine if you saw like a video on YouTube, and you know what, there might be one, but it was said like 2 weeks to a perfect lawn. You'd be like, well,
yeah,
is that really possible?
Yep.
Or go from a brown lawn to a green lawn in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That just seems too good to be true. And the same thing, you just have to, like Gary said, just check in on with fitness, because there's so much stuff out there that is too good to be true, whether it's supplements or superfoods, or exercises that claim to do way more than they actually do. It's just something to be aware of, and it's easy to get duped by it because, well, who wouldn't want a shortcut or something easier, especially if somebody says that it works. So you have to be aware and be okay with doing the work, and putting in that time.
Yeah, and a good way to look at it is think about what you do, like what you do for a living, or maybe something you're super passionate in. And if someone kind of came to you, say you're a dental hygienist, right? And someone has gingivitis, you'd like to think, if someone's like, oh, I saw this mouthwash on TV and I just got to swish a couple times a day and I'll fix all my problems. Mm-hmm. You'd probably roll your eyes and then say, no, you need to, brush your teeth 2 times a day and floss every day, 365 days a year, to get rid of it and prevent it. And yet it's, a long-term thing. So, it's easy for us to appreciate what we do and know and we're an expert in, and typically know the kind of the depths of what it takes. So just remind yourself that with fitness or anything you want to try that you're maybe not well versed in or don't want to be, you just want a result, and remember, most of the too goods to be true are just that. Yep.
Keep it basic. Pretty much everything, Yep. And if you want to get good at something, you do it often, you do it consistently, and that's pretty much it. and you will get better, and you don't expect to get better in 1 week. You know, you didn't learn to ride a bike and be really good at it all of a sudden. It just takes time, just like any skill.
Yep.
So treat it as such.
So to break it down, just remember when it comes to, hey, I have X body part that I want to lose fat from. All right, the best way as well, do resistance training so you're maintaining your muscle. So full body resistance training, focus on your nutrition to get in a calorie deficit, and just focus on losing that weight, losing that body fat over the long term, and eventually you will lose from that spot, And again, remember, typically if it's somewhere like your midsection and love handles, those are some of the first places the body stores fat, so it's some of the last places it gets rid of fat. So,
yep.
There's just a process, there's an order, and it just takes time, and that's really the only control you have over it. So just keep it simple, focus on, again, calories deficit, sufficient protein, strength training. You do those 3 things long enough, consistently enough, and you'll be good to go.
Yep. Yeah, that'll get you most of the way. So, don't major in minutia. Do the basics. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully that helped. If a lot of people I know they listen while they're driving. So if you get back to a computer, feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or hit us up on social media, whatever you prefer, and any questions you have, we'd love to answer them on the podcast.
Yep. Or, if you don't want to make a question public, you can always message us on social in any way. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Or if you come to the gym, you can grab us in here and be like, hey, can you guys address this? No question's a dumb question either. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to ask this. This is stupid. They're going to make fun of me. Feel free. Ask anything. We want to answer all questions, especially if it helps clear things up for at least one person. So hit us up.
All right, guys and girls. We will be back with our next one. And y'all have a great time working on your health and fitness in the meantime. And we'll talk to you then.
All right. Bye.
Holler.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.